If you hold an ISA and you've moved from the UK to the US, there's something you should know. Whilst your ISA may be tax-free in the UK, chances are it's not tax-free in the United States. The IRS does not recognise the tax-free status of an ISA the way that HMRC does, and that means that the income and gains within your ISA may be taxable in the US. And, depending on the underlying investments, you may face some pretty complex reporting requirements. In this video, I'll cover how the IRS treats UK ISAs, why the investments inside the account matter just as much as the ISA itself, and what you may consider if you want to avoid any costly mistakes. So, what happens to your ISA when you move to the US? Well, it doesn't disappear and you won't automatically lose it. And in most cases, you don't simply have to close your ISA when you move to America. However, once you're no longer a UK tax resident, you generally cannot make new contributions to your ISA. Your underlying investments will remain, but from that point, it's the US tax rules that become the bigger consideration, and this is where many people get caught out. The IRS does not recognise your ISA. In the UK, ISAs are incredibly tax efficient. Interest, dividends, capital gains are all generally sheltered from UK tax. However, the United States does not recognise that tax-free status. From the IRS's perspective, a UK ISA is generally treated much like an ordinary foreign investment account, meaning income and gains within the account will be taxed. So, your ISA may no longer be a tax-efficient asset. What tends to cause issues for US residents is not necessarily the ISA wrapper itself, but the underlying investments, since many of these are UK domiciled investments, ETFs, or collective investment schemes. Under US tax rules, many of these investments are classified as something called a passive foreign investment company, or a PFIC. PFICs are notorious in the US, as they trigger complex annual reporting, unfavourable tax treatment, interest charges on historic gains, and overall significantly lower post-tax returns. The problem is, many individuals don't even realise they hold PFICs until years after moving to the US, usually when they're trying to sell investments or file US taxes properly for the first time. And at this point, fixing the issue can be complex. Even if you don't owe additional tax, US residents often still have reporting obligations. Depending on the value of your overseas accounts and your personal circumstances, your UK ISA may still need to be declared under your US tax obligations. Ignoring these requirements or simply being unaware of them may result in significant penalties. And this is one of the areas where being proactive is far easier than trying to resolve problems later. Another issue to be aware of is that not all UK ISA providers accept clients who become US residents. While some may let you keep your ISA as it is, others may restrict trading or require you to transfer your ISA. Now, these are provider-specific policies, not HMRC rules, so it's important to check what your specific provider allows before making any decisions. So, if you're living in the US or moving there, should you close your ISA? The short answer is not automatically. In fact, for many US residents, simply reviewing the structure of your ISA and the underlying investments is a far more appropriate approach to just closing the account outright. The right approach is going to depend on your personal circumstances, long-term goals, and tax position. So, if you're a US resident with a UK ISA, don't necessarily rush to close it. First, check the underlying investments for any US tax issues like PFICs. Then, check whether your ISA provider actually supports US residents. From there, you can decide whether you need to restructure the investments, keep the ISA as a legacy account, or transfer it if you need to. And after all of that, you may consider closing it if there's no better option. We have much more on how to manage your ISA as a US resident on our website, which will be linked below.